Ron. We're the Back Road Wanderers, and we're going to go hiking today in Bedford, Iowa, up at Lake of Three Fires. Here we go. We just pulled into Lake of Three Fires State Park in Bedford, Iowa. We're going to go over this way to see if we can get to the campground and park over there. We're going to pull into the campground. Some of these campsites are first come, first serve, and some of these campsites are reservable. There's a nice bathhouse. One good thing about Iowa State Parks is that they're well kept and clean. This area down here at this end of the campground is non-electric tent camping. It looks like there's whitecaps out there on the lake this morning, so it might be pretty windy and cool for our hike. We're leaving the campground area and we're going to go over and pick up the trail, which is just on the other side of the other campground. This is the start of the equestrian and hiking trail. Basically, this goes right around the lake. There are a variety of ways you can go. You can hug the shoreline, or you can go on the outside perimeter loop. So we're hiking along the trail here in Bedford at Lake of Three Fires, and we come to the first little bridge that's going to cross this creek. We did get a little rain last night in some places, so maybe they've had some rain here, but that creek is a little bit higher than normal. That's awesome. So we're going to come up here to a sign, and that sign is going to tell us that we're going to go to the left. We go up here across the little dam of this pond. We can take the road to the left, which will take us right along the shoreline, or we could take the path to the right, which will take us up around the perimeter.
I think we'll go to the perimeter.
To the what?
The perimeter.
The perimeter. So Ron says let's do the perimeter, give us a longer hike, and so we're going to go up here and we're going to go to the right. We did discover the last time we were here that there's a really pretty place walking through some pine trees. So here's the fork in the path, and we're going to go to the right. So we've come to a little hill here along the main trail. This is a moderate trail. The sign says that the lake loop is an easy trail, but the rest of this is moderate. And this is where we came and we veered off to the right last time. This is a rather new trail, you can tell, because you can see where they've kind of bushwhacked. There's still lots of little prickly stubs and stumps. And there goes Ron, he's always ahead. Lots of pine branches down. You can tell we've had a lot of wind lately. One of the things that we're finding out is kind of important to do when you're hiking is drink. If you feel thirsty, you're way past the point where you should have been drinking water. So don't wait till you get thirsty. Take a break every once in a while. Get a drink of water. So as you see, this clearing path over here is paralleling the main path right over there. So it'd be really interesting to see what the long-range plans are. I think these state parks are always in process of becoming something or other. And then we're going to try and go to the left somewhere. We can cut through right here. Little bushwhacking. And it will hook up with what was the main path. But now we're back on the main trail and headed around the lake. You would think that if you do the perimeter, it's going to be longer, but since we go through a couple little switchbacks and a couple little loopy things in the trail, if we go to the left, we're going to get more hiking in. So we're heading left. This was the first little pond if you just follow the lake trail that you're going to get to. And the second little pond that we're going to come up to is going to have a picnic bench where we're going to take a coffee break. Going down the rocky trail, right along the shore. We're going to see some fishermen up here. If you look straight across, you're going to see the one camping area where the tent camping is, and right to the right of that is going to be the cabins, and to the right of that is going to be the other camping area. And you can see it's springtime and the redbuds are in bloom, and some of the other flowering trees and bushes. You can hear a lot of little birds flitting around here in the woods. Every once in a while you'll see some geese out on the lake or a great blue heron. Migratory birds also come through here. We've been here when there have been pelicans coming through, geese, and sometimes you'll see an eagle. So it's a little disconcerting walking in the woods with this much wind. We keep hearing the trees creaking. Then we heard the squirrels. Maybe they're not too happy about the wind either. Every once in a while you kind of hear a creak and are afraid there's going to be a branch fall on your head. Well, we come to a fork in the road. And here is another sign. Okay, I think we go to the that way. No. I don't know.
Well, we're here. There should be where we came in and the two branches. So I would say that's the branch to the right. Let's see, this is the branch to... No, we couldn't have come... We weren't down that far by the wall.
Yeah, we were.
Okay, well, I'd say we want to
I
go
think
left.
so. I think we want to go left.
Yes, we were. At one point.
They saw the fishermen down here.
That's true.
And then we kind of came back up this way.
We'll go left.
So we go left. And here we come up to another little pond. Not only is there a bench, picnic table, but there's also a little step stool in case you need to help getting back on your horse after you take a break. Perfect place to sit and have a cup of coffee. So we had a little coffee, had a snack, got some energy, and now we're headed off to the rest of the trail. Mud, mud, and more mud. That's okay, we're in the springtime, so of course you've got mud. I'm gonna follow Ron. He seems to have found the dry alternative. With all this mud, you can see the deer tracks, the possum, raccoon, either dog or coyote. So we just saw a deer run right here across the path. So there are lots of deer here. One day driving up here before we got to the park on the highway, we had to stop. And there was a herd of at least 15 deer running right across the highway. That was quite exciting. Sometimes when we're up here camping, if you get up early enough in the morning, the deer will walk right through the campground. This is a great lake for kayaking. We usually like to bring the kayaks up here. So if we're not hiking, we're kayaking, there's a lot of little fingers of the lake that you can check out. Choice, I think.
These are.
Could be.
Old horse.
Could be horse tracks. I'm sure they must be. Maybe that's how they figure out if the trail is okay for horses. They ride a horse out here, and if it comes back muddy, they can't ride. I don't know.
Pull off the test horse.
One never knows. Okay, so if we had come down around the perimeter, we would have come down that trail right there in front of us to this little pond. And we're going to check and see which way we want to go after we lose the hat. One hat.
Showed it who's boss.
So, Ron has solved his hat problem. He has on an earmuff hat, a baseball cap, and then his hood. I think he's well protected. So when we came up to the little crossways in the trail, we decided to head left, which looks like it takes us away from the trail, but what we're going to do is take a little jog up here, head to the right, and follow the trail along the lake. Okay, the biggest mud puddle we've seen along the trail so far, and Ron is going to take it first. And I think he's made a mistake. Okay, a little crossing over the path. Okay, so we're going to come up here. We found a log to sit on. So we're going to cross the mud path and take a break and have some water. And take off some outer layers. Here we are down by the water's edge. Across the way you can see a beach. You can also see a building with some bathrooms. You can see the playground. I think there's sand volleyball over there. And coming up here, we're going to get to a bridge that's going to cross over the spillway. One time we were kayaking here, and we were out in the middle of the lake kayaking, one of our first trips up here. And we thought, oh, let's go check out that bridge. Not realizing that when you get over to the bridge, there's a rather steep spillway. I wonder what that old stone wall was for. Oh, that's not an old stone wall.
It's logs.
It's
Is it logs or rocks?
no, it's rocks.
It is rock.
And it's like a mesh thing. I bet they put those rocks there to help with erosion, because there's another setup there, but you know, you can... I don't think it's an ancient Roman aqueduct. I think that must help with the erosion along this area. And here we are at the spillway, the little bridge we saw from the distance. And it does say danger, keep off spillway, because as you can see, the water is pretty high. If you weren't taken unawares,
Nice low water.
that would be a little dangerous. And
if you think you survived the first one, there's an even bigger one at the end of that.
the water is up. In the summertime, there'll be hardly any water in this spillway. This is the boat ramp area, where if you just want to come and dock your boat and put it in and do some fishing, you can do that. area. There's a nice little pavilion, a very clean outhouse area, and picnic benches with grills, and a nice frisbee golf course. There is a trail that connects this area to the main road and the ranger station up that way. There's also a trail across over here that's going to connect this with the campground. And here there's an old abandoned outhouse. The modern bathhouse is across the way, just across this bridge. So we're crossing from the playground area, picnic area, over to the campground. And we're back to the campground. The campground has water available and electricity, no dump stations at your campsite, but it does have a dump station here. I'm going to check out the bathhouse before we get in the car. Here's the bathhouse. It's pretty basic. You have some shower areas over here. You have some bathrooms over here. If you cut through this way, you get to a section where there are cabins. Up here, you see that there's one handicap spot, which is a little more flat on the end here, but there are a variety of sites. There are back-end sites, there are some buddy sites. The ones up here on the left are pull-throughs. And we are back to the car. It's been just a little over 3 hours for us to do our hike, and we have come, let's see, 5 miles. Good hike today.